What's up guys, Meredith with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're checking out these pocket style fender flares in texture black, fitting all 2009 through 2018 Ram 1500s, excluding the Rebel and Sport model. Now, adding fenders to your build come with both function and style, and this set will be an incredibly affordable way to achieve both. Now, not only will these be great if you want more of a rugged appearance to your Ram, but will do a great job at providing some extra width for a wider look, some extra tire coverage if you've got a little poke and you want more of that flush stance, or if you want a bit more protection to the side because of an aggressive tire or a wider wheel. Now, these will feature that extra width that your Ram may need, with roughly 2.5 inches in the front and roughly 2 inches in the rear, which will add a decent amount of coverage to the tire and will prevent that side splatter that is probably taking a toll on the paint. Now, the most notable thing about these though is probably the appearance with the riveted design and the prominent body lines, as well as the cutout for the front for the headlight, making these look rugged yet clean when it comes to the fitment. Now, speaking of fitment, this kit will also come with a gasket or a lining for the top portion of the fender to reduce any moisture buildup underneath or behind the fender and offer you a complete look to those visible edges. Now, these are going to be made of a 3mm thick ABS construction, which will be very resilient to kick up in any light off-road hits. While the ABS is durable, it's also going to be pretty flexible, which will allow some give when it comes to the install to help getting these on. Now, to add to that rugged look, these are going to have a matte black finish, which will do a lot within itself if you're looking for a contrasted appearance on the side of your Ram, but because of the material and because of the finish here, you will be able to paint these to kind of up the ante when it comes to styling. And of course, you're gonna have some stainless steel hardware in those pockets, which are gonna add a very clean look to the fender itself. Now, this set will come in at about $200, which is super affordable for a set of 4. Now, compared to other choices available on the page, I really think that a couple things about these flares stand out, including the pocketed design, the fact that these are going to be paintable, so you do have options compared to other texture choices that may not allow you to paint them and customize them to your personal preference, and the fact that this is going to come with all of the hardware and all 4 in the kit, so you're not going to have to question when it comes to install. Not to mention, these are going to be right in the middle when it comes to width, so you're getting an aggressive feel when it comes to your Ram, but it's not going to be over the top if you don't have a super wide wheel or tire, which I think works incredibly well for a lot of applications. So if you're looking to save some cash while getting all of those benefits, then this is going to be a fantastic pick for you. Now, install will be a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. It is relatively simple in order to get these on, but it may take you a little bit of time to fit them on. I would say about 3 hours with some pretty basic hand tools. Now, speaking of the install, one of our customers has installed this on their Ram and is going to walk you through what that process looks like step by step. So that is going to wrap it up for me. Let's go ahead and get into it.
These are the tools that you need. There's an 8mm socket with the ratchet, 1/2-inch wrench, and they also gave you a torque wrench. It came with the hardware. It's a T15. That's what you're going to put these rivets on. It goes inside like that. I'll show you later. You need a Phillips head too. I use a stubby one because it's going to be a tight spot on the fender well. And you need a pair of scissors to cut your rubber with. Okay, the first thing I did when I installed my fender flares, I started with the rear flares. Put the rubber piece on so it doesn't scratch up your paint when you install them. And this is how it's done. You just take this and put it in between the rubber and the flare. Make sure it's flush at the end. And then you just work it around to the other side of the flare. And once you get to the other side, we'll cut it off and then we'll do the other rear one. Okay, now that we've worked it all the way around, the rubber piece all the way around the fender well, it goes on the side that the rivets is going to be on, not the bottom side, not the cup. It's the side where the rivets is going to be at. That's where your rubber piece goes, which is the top of the fender well. And when you get it to the end, we're gonna cut it once we get it on there. Now we have it on there. You can see there. We take our scissors and just cut it. And that's one fender well, the rear one with the rubber piece installed. And it's on the top where the rivets are. This side here goes underneath your fender well. The next thing we're going to do is install our rivets, and I will show you that in a few. Okay, next step I did was put the rivets in the flare. You can see I got one already done. There's your nut on the bottom, and then there's the top. Just go all the way around all the flares. I'll show you how to do it. You just use the 1/2" wrench, the T15 Torx that they gave you, came with it. The wrench didn't. And then out of the hardware, we're using the little rivet that they gave you, a washer, and a nut. Take the rivet, put the washer on it, put it through the hole, just like that. Take the nut on the bottom side, and then take your 1/2" wrench and hold the nut, the Torx on the top, just hand tighten it. That's it. Go all the way around it on all our fender flares. All right, this is our front flare. I have to show you how to put the rubber on, which is a little different than the back. We have to start. We have to start down here, which is the bottom. This is the top. So you start at the bottom, put your rubber in, get it started. Go ahead. And then on these corners right here, we're going to use a razor blade to cut the corners so we can bend it, bend our rubber. So just like that. And you just cut the corner. And the same for this corner. You're going to have to cut it so it can go in a little easier. Just gonna cut it, not all the way through, just a little slight. Then you just work it around, the rubber around. You see what you got there. You see what you got right here. It goes around like that. And then we're just gonna work it all the way around and cut it at the end. All right, we got to the end. We got our rubber all the way around it, so now we're just gonna cut it. Just like that. This is how much we had left after we put all the rubber on all our fender flares. All right, we're gonna show you how to install the rear fender flare. These are the tools that you're gonna need. The 8mm socket with a ratchet, little stubby nose Phillips head, and they gave you some plastic washers that comes apart that we're gonna put on the holes. And we also got a clip that's gonna go on one of the holes at the very center at the top. And there's your little Phillips head screw that's gonna go in at the top. That's a number 2 Phillips head. So what you need to do is come to the front and take your 8mm socket and ratchet, and you go on the very bottom screw, and we're gonna remove that screw. We're gonna skip that one, and then you remove that one, and you remove that one. And then you go to the back, and you have a screw right here you need to remove. We remove this one and this one. Take all those out, which would be 6. And then you have a hole that's already in your fender well at the top here. That's where your Phillips head and your clip is gonna be. So you take a clip and one of these plastic washers and you stick the plastic washer there, and we're gonna put the clip right here. And that's where you're gonna put your Phillips head screw in the fender flare, which is right here. The hole underneath here. This hole here goes right here. And then you put your manufacturer screws that you take out in these holes. The 3 holes, they will line up with the ones you took out. All right, we got our 6 manufacturer screws out of the fender well here. So we're gonna take our plastic washers they gave us, and they have adhesive on it. Just take them off and put them over each hole. You see the holes there? You see them? Mm-hmm. Right there, and down there. So we're gonna take these and put it over the hole, just like that, on each hole. Just cover the hole up, but we're gonna put a hole in those when we screw our screws back in, which helps hold makes it tight. All of them get it. Even the one up here at the top gets a plastic washer. And then we're going to the front of the rear fender well, and we got a hole there, and one at the bottom. That's where we took out our manufacturer screws at. That one you left in, you leave it. And we have one here and one here. You leave those in as well. Do not take them out. Your fender flare goes over it. So we're gonna finish putting these plastic washers on, and then we'll put our fender flare up and screw them in. All right, we're gonna put our clip on, but first we'll take our little Phillips head screw and put holes in our plastic washers. You just push it up in them, and it puts holes in it, as you see right there. Just go all the way around on your plastic washers and push your screwdriver in to make a hole. Just like that. And then we take the clip, and it goes on the top. That's the only one that gets a clip, is on the top. The rest of them already have it from the manufacturer. And you just slide it in just like that, between the fender. A little thin fender metal piece there. It just slides in over your plastic washer. And your, let's see. Yep, let's go that way. Let's go that way there. Like that. Just like that. All right, we're gonna put our rear fender flare on finally. You just hold it up. The hole right here is gonna line up with this hole right here. That's the first screw you're gonna put in, which is a screw that they gave you, a little Phillips head. So we're gonna put it on our Phillips head and get it ready. Hold your fender flare up. You gotta hold it tight to the truck, and you can see the holes there. Take your screw, right there, and just snug it up. Don't make it real tight, but snug it up so it'll hold it, and then you can line your other holes up. That's on there, and then your other holes will line up on the front and on the back. So we will take the manufacturer screws that came out of the truck and line them up. Take your socket, an 8mm, and just snug it up. Don't tighten it, just snug it up a little bit so you can move it around a little. Take your other screw. Do the same thing, just snugging it up as you're pushing against your truck, holding it in. Same on the bottom. And then we'll go around to the back side. Do the same thing. Start down here, get your screw in. Yep. Let's start on this one. Find it. Have to be a little rough with it to get it in place. I think this one here has rubber still on it. Alright, now we got them started. Got it flush to the fender. Comes all around, it's nice and flush. Fits tight against your fender. All the way around. And then as you're tightening them up, push in so it'll stay nice and snug. All right, we're gonna put our front fender flare on. This is what you need to do. You turn your wheel to the right. That way you can access your nuts. But you got one right here you're gonna take out. This one and this one. And then you have one right here to take out. So it's only 4. And then you have the same hole up here, right here, for your center bolt on your fender flares you're gonna put. So you put your little plastic washer right there. And then you put your clip right there, that's what I'm gonna show you. So these are the tools, same tools as the back, is the ratchet with the 8mm, little Phillips head, stubby, your plastic washers, your little Phillips head that came with it, and the clip. So we're gonna take the plastic washer and stick it on. It has a little adhesive on it. And we can stick it on this one up here. So we can put a clip. We're gonna put the clip on it, which goes just like that right there. That goes like that. Yeah, that's on the bottom. That part's on the top. Slide it between the metal and the clip. Just like that right there. That's it. And then we're gonna punch a hole in that with our Phillips head. That way when we put our screw in, it won't be so much resistance. Alright, and now we're gonna take out this screw right here. And then we're gonna take out this one. And this one. And this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. All right, we're gonna take out our 8mm screws now. It's factory. The first one is right here. So it left that hole there. Then we're gonna do this side, the very bottom. The next one. And the last one is right here. Then we take our fender flare. And you want this part facing the front bumper. Just cup it underneath it. Same as the back. You're gonna line up the center hole. So this center hole right here is gonna line up with that center hole where you put the clip on and put this in it. The first screw you're gonna put in. It is a little rough getting it going. But once you get it in there, it's not so bad. We just tighten it up a little bit so we can still move it around to line up this hole in the front and then these back here. And we use our factory screws we took out to put those back in those holes, which already have the clips. It came in factory. So you gotta hold it tight to your fender as you're screwing it in so it'll stay nice and snug and flush. And we are gonna use the 8mm in the socket, the ratchet. Well, find it. Let's do this one first then. That one I can find. Just make it a little snug, not real tight at this point, because you want to still be able to move it to line your other holes. Try the bottom one again. Found it. Alright, that's in. Got this last one over here on this side. Get it started. All right, now we're gonna go to the front. This last hole here, get it lined up. Push it pretty hard. Keep it tight to the truck. All right. And then we got it nice and snug. Can you see that? It's nice and snug on there. It's tight to the fender. It's all the way around. And now as we tighten it up, we'll push in on it. So we just push in and tighten it. Make sure it's nice and snug. Tighten it down. All right. We'll get this one in the front. All right. Then we'll tighten up our middle one right here. And is our front fender. Kind of play with it to get the rubber in place. But pretty much it's on there. And that's what we're looking like.
So that's gonna wrap it up for my review and the install on these pocket style fender flares in texture black, fitting all 2009 through 2018 Ram 1500s, excluding the Rebel and Sport models. And you can find these right here at AmericanTrucks.com.